Welcome to another episode of Use Your Power. Use Your Power is a bi-weekly podcast brought to you by REV UP Texas. Register, educate, and vote. Use Your Power. The Use Your Power show is brought to you so that people with disabilities can increase the power of the disability vote. And today we have a very special guest speaker who knows firsthand what it is like to use your power. Today we welcome Kenneth Semien Sr. He is the current president of the Coalition of Texans with Disabilities and the immediate former president of the American Council of the Blind. He is the current chair of their Advocacy and Legislative Committee. Welcome, Kenneth.
Thank you for this opportunity. Glad to be here.
I want to ask you a couple questions about your role and the advocacy issues, but I forgot I need to self-describe myself. I am a middle-aged female white woman with shoulder-length brown hair, gray on top, and a beautiful city view of some city behind me. I don't know what city it is, but it's not real, but it looks impressive. Let me know in the comments. So Kenneth, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you use your power with the American Council for the Blind of Texas?
Okay, well, I'd like to self-describe. I am a Black male, middle-aged, very handsome. I'm wearing a dark blue shirt with white stripes, sitting in my office, and just feeling pleasured and just grateful for this opportunity to speak today. So I actually have gotten connected in the disability community after facing a challenge years ago, 19 years ago to be exact, dealing with meningitis. And it was a serious case and brought me to vision loss and hearing loss. So I began to determine, what my future would be like. And I really had opportunities to attend meetings at our local independent living center. And it brought me to the fact that I should be really advocating for younger people, adults, and then it really grew into wanting to do more in various areas for all people with disabilities. And so therefore I've gotten involved with several advocacy organizations and wanted to join in the work that they do, as well as what my dreams are for people with disabilities.
So what exactly does the American Council for the Blind of Texas do?
Well, the American Council of the Blind of Texas is a really affiliate of the American Council of the Blind, our parent organization, and we work to be an advocacy organization, a positive, proactive support system to Texans who are blind and visually impaired. We really work to enhance the quality of life for those who are blind or have low vision, and then extends to those times when we connect with other issues that people with disabilities also face. And so on a daily basis, there's always issues that we try to address when we receive phone calls on an ongoing basis to try to help someone to accomplish a goal that they really don't know how to begin. And so we help them in various ways, and we're all volunteers, and we try our best to make a difference and get connected with those in the community who have more information than we even have in order to collaborate and get an effective outcome.
Can you tell me, as the chair of the Advocacy and Legislative Committee, what are some of the priorities in Texas?
Well, this year we focused on voting rights and equal access to the absentee ballot. Beyond that, it was so important for us to not just have access to the ballot, but we have the challenge of even completing an application to apply for a ballot by mail. And so we've asked for assistance through our state to help us out in that area for the last two terms, or not terms, but legislative sessions. And so that's one of our biggie things that I say we focused on, and we still have to continue those efforts. In addition to that, our priorities were even to work with our legislature to assist us in possibly increasing funding for the older individuals who are blind program through the Texas Workforce Commission, and also enhance some of the services, making it easier for seniors to be able to know who to talk to. And so we've asked for a toll-free number to be developed in order for people to call family members, friends, if they want to get help for an older adult who may have experienced vision loss or received a diagnosis of it and they don't know where to turn. So that is being done in addition to what we are trying to get our Texas Workforce Commission to do, and they have actually responded to positively. We have the Health and Human Services Commission working on that issue too, and we now have the Aging and Disability Resource Center that can answer a lot of questions there. So a lot of our work has been directed by resolutions that have been submitted by members sharing their concerns that they feel like it would benefit the majority. And that's what we try to place a more emphasis on what will benefit the majority of Texans for blind and visually impaired, and also make sure that we understand that some of the same issues we face, people with various disabilities may face, and we try to get connected with those organizations that we can team up to make something happen in a more positive way. That is including voting, access, and information is so important for us to really be informed about what's really going on. And so we have to find ways to make sure we include people beyond the technology that I use. There's some folks that don't have access to what I have. And so we want to make sure that there's alternative ways to communicate for people that don't have technology and don't want to even get involved with learning how to use technology. So that's one of our emphasis, placing an emphasis on access, main access to all types of things, kiosk in restaurants. They continue to put out more of those, and none of them have been accessible, although we're in communication with a number of the companies, such as Google, Amazon, Apple, and it goes on with that list of businesses that are out there making big bucks, and we need them to include all people with disabilities. As you design a product, we want you to consider universal design so that the majority of citizens can benefit from what you have to offer.
As a man who knows how to use his power, and you are a very powerful man in the state of Texas, can you tell us your thoughts on Senate Bill 1?
Oh, Senate Bill 1, I tell you, it was not so good for us. And it prompted us to really come up with new ways to try to advocate, let it be known that our voices are wanting to be heard, and let it be known that we expect more from our legislature. We want them to really consider listening to their constituents and not just focus on what they believe is right as far as voter integrity and security, as this bill was stated to have a focus on. It still included areas in which it excluded so many of us. It limited us, it restricted us to the polling places, the dates and times that you could vote. We wanted to get access to that absentee ballot and also make sure that people would be able to trust that their ballots would be counted and even be able to be cured if somehow that something was noticed that wasn't done correctly, and it might be a simple mistake, and maybe that person could cure that ballot, give them that opportunity to cast that vote officially by communicating with them about any simple issue like that. One of the things we deal with in regard to voting, a number of us, we can't see what we're writing, so our signature may not be the same all the time. But some people dealing with other dexterity issues, older people and some people with various disabilities, they might not be able to write their signature the same way every time. So we need our state to really think about including us in all those ways, giving us access to true transparency and making sure that we are in line with the Help America Vote Act. This bill really did not support the Help America Vote Act, which should open the door for us to gain access in every way possible to cast our vote. And that's what it's all about. When I say access, giving us equal access, it should be something that's in our mindset, our legislators' mindsets, to always think about when the people with disabilities contact you by phone, email, or visit, we're trying to tell you that the main message is that we want equal access to all material and equipment that may be used, and also give us a chance to share our voice on what is going to be done through our legislature.
Wow.
There's much more I can say about the bill because it's so important that we continue our work. I will say we will continue our work. beyond having times of feeling discouraged. We must continue, and I think we can do that best by joining together. And as it all has been stated before, use your power, get involved, and let your voice be heard. Tell somebody if you don't feel like you can speak in the front of someone, let somebody else know your concerns, that we can also chime in and make mention of things that matter to all people with disabilities.
Thank you so much. Your answers are very powerful, and I love your bio you gave about how you got interested in using your power. I think that's something that advocates need to hear, is that they can make that decision too. So
Yes,
are
it's
there,
so much, so powerful to have the opportunity to even look back now, after having been in the hospital for 89 days 19 years ago, and the hospital wanted to send me to an assisted living facility. I declared that I wanted to come home, and I believe that because I was able to come home, but also because I had access to something I purchased years ago, which I didn't believe I would need, is a long-term care. So the day after I returned home, I had therapists coming to me, to my home, to help me to gain the strength I needed to get back into walking and building my muscles up again. All those things empowered me to do what I'm able to do today. And so just know that it's so important that we connect with other people, because we could stay alone and feel like, oh, it's all over for me. No, it's really not. But connect with some other people and hear their stories too. And you may be inspired and motivated to get involved and let your story be heard. That's just the greatest thing that I've learned through the years. And it just excites me more just to know that there's so many voices out there that need to be heard and are not being heard, but we're finding different ways to make sure that we make their voices heard, even if we have to be the ones speaking on their behalf.
okay, I have one last question for you, Kenneth. Has COVID impacted the accessibility in any way of people with voting?
As far as those of us who are blind or visually impaired, yes, last year it really did affect me and so many others. And we had to determine whether we were going to go out and vote in person during COVID-19, using transportation with others who may have contracted COVID, and we had no way to know. One of our biggest concerns were getting out there, standing in line, wanting to try to keep the distance, but we couldn't see who was in, uh, always to see right in front of you or to your left or right, or who was behind you, how close everybody was. And we were concerned about being safe, because a number of us have underlying health issues, and called the county in advance to see what was in place, and everything they told me that would be very supportive didn't happen on the day when I went. And but I was determined to cast my vote, and so many others from the blindness community went out and voted because it was so necessary during that election. It's a presidential election that we were voting on, and we did what we had to do. But we had really asked for access to the absentee ballot to be able to have the right to vote from home, because we know of states that are doing that, and we know companies who have provided the access uh, from your computer to be able to vote. And Texas just wasn't ready to move in that direction. So either we would stay home, possibly feel intimidated or excluded, or we had to make a choice to go and vote. I was determined to go out and vote, and I encouraged others to do the same. Let's cast our vote. It's a privilege to have the right to vote. There was a time when some of us didn't have the right, and I want to take that initiative and try to do it myself, be an example, and encourage other people to join in. Let's get out there and cast our vote. And we did what we needed to do, and we all made it okay. But it was challenging to get everything set up to make it all happen in the way we would hope that would keep us safe.
I want to ask also, you mentioned a lot about you want to get people inspired and to use their power too. So when people listen to you today and they do feel they want to use their power, how can they get connected to the Texas Council of the Blind of Texas?
I always welcome people contacting us, and I'll be glad to help in any way I can. I like to connect with other advocates to help one another. We can inspire one another to continue the work that we do. So I would like to ask everyone to consider visiting our website at acbtexas.org. It's all spelled out, acbtexas.org. You can send email to info@acbtexas.org to reach out to me or others in our organization. And also, I would like to provide my phone number just to be sure that when someone wants to contact me directly, my number is 409-866-5838. That's 409-866-5838. And we want to connect with you. We have information of flyers going out there electronically, some in print and braille, placed in Centers for Independent Living, the Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center for blind and visually impaired people, and so many other places. But contact us directly if you want to know more about what we do, and especially if we can collaborate.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. This was such good information. Good information. I know we're going to hear more people rev up and use their power. Thank you.
Very good. You're welcome.
So that concludes this episode, but I want to encourage everyone to like and subscribe to our Use Your Power podcast show at the bottom of your screen. And don't forget, use your power.
So nice to see you, and I wish your friend great luck.